If it wasn't clear from the video title and thumbnail, this video will contain spoilers up to and including the latest chapter of My Dress Up Darling. That's chapter 101 for people watching this video in the future. Now, if you're an anime-only watcher like my wife, you need to understand that Season 1 of the anime only covered up to Volume 5 of the series, or Chapter 39. So the stuff we'll be discussing won't even happen in Season 2. It'll be Season 3, if we're lucky enough to ever get one. Also, before we get started, I'd like to quickly ask you to like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and it's free. With that out of the way, let's get into the video. Welcome once again to Musings by Danon. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Danon. I'm currently reading over 600 manga and light novels, and my two favorite genres are fantasy and romance. So on this channel, we talk a lot about both of those genres. But we tend to look more into story structure and tropes, rather than how cool the fight scenes are or how great the animation or artwork is. Also, the romance videos haven't been performing as well as the fantasy videos, so we may be cutting back a bit on the romance, which is sad because there are a lot of great romance series I want to talk about. But we'll see. Maybe this video will do well. Let me start by saying that My Dress Up Darling is one of the best romance series I've ever read. If you have a problem with ecchi series, that's fine, but take your prudish attitude elsewhere. On this channel, we are body positive and enjoy adult entertainment, just like Marin. Though Marin is probably too young to be reading some of the stuff she reads, like Mandate of Heaven. Unlike the first cosplay that Marin has, Mandate of Heaven is a dark and heavy story, and that is reflected in the current arc of My Dress Up Darling. Gojo is consumed by this costume. He spends every waking moment for weeks working on it. His Christmas celebration was to come downstairs, eat dinner with Marin and his grandfather, and then go back upstairs to keep working. It took him weeks to find the perfect fabric, but when he did, he became even more obsessed. Quick announcement before we get into our video. I've started streaming on Twitch. There's a link down below in the video description, but the address is twitch.tv/DanonWildfire. Feel free to swing by. I'm usually playing Final Fantasy XIV for the first half of the stream, but I'm also planning on reading manga and working on videos while on the stream as well. Swing by if you get the chance or if you want to ask some questions. Gojo finished the Haniel costume just in time for Winter Comiket, and social media exploded. Now, Marin just wants to cosplay for fun. She has her favorite characters, and she's making money from her modeling job to pay Gojo for the costumes. And from her work as a model, she has the experience to bend the camera to her will. On top of that, Marin is cosplaying a beloved character from a best-selling and critically acclaimed manga. Mandate of Heaven is considered a masterpiece, and new volumes frequently sell out. Though, I guess it would be wrong to say that Haniel is beloved. Worshipped is probably a far better word. Men flock to Haniel only to be destroyed by her. She has a smile so enchanting people can't help but fall in love with her, which is exactly what happens at Winter Comiket. Marin and Gojo are standing around discussing what they should do next when a line forms behind them. People are literally lining up to take her picture, which isn't an uncommon sight at Comiket, but Marin wasn't posing. Usually, people set up off to the side, have a little display with the cosplayer's social media information, and then a line is formed. But that didn't happen here. Marin just drew people to her. They figured it would be faster to go in a circle, which makes sense. You get a circle of people taking your photo from a bunch of different angles so it can go faster. Unfortunately, Marin is Marin, and she draws a crowd. When you have a costume made by an obsessed tailor, combined with a beautiful professional model like Marin, on top of being a character that people have worshipped for years, it creates the perfect storm. The Archangel Haniel descends upon Winter Comiket. Shiba Tokyo, the author of Mandate of Heaven, wanted people to be destroyed when they looked upon the Archangel Haniel. It was a different feeling than falling in love. Love is a hopeful emotion. You pray that one day they will feel the same about you, or that they will experience some of the happiness that they bring you. But worship is different. You know you're not worthy. You don't deserve to be on the same plane of existence with this person. They are a being from beyond the realms of humanity, and simply allowing yourself the chance to glimpse them and go blind from their divine radiance is all you can hope for in your pathetic human existence. This is what Tokyo was going for, and by all accounts, he succeeded at it. In other words, he drew her to make others kneel. The fans are obsessed, social media is raving about how great of a costume it was. All of Marin's fellow cosplay friends tell her how amazing she looks and how great of a job Gojo did on the costume. So why is Gojo depressed? The end of chapter 101 shows Gojo in bed, face buried in a towel. The whole ride home, he was silent and looking down. I have two theories as to why this is the case. The first one is that Gojo is suffering from success. The second is that he's an angsty teenager and is cringing at the memory of what he said earlier. Let's talk about both of those theories and why I think they're both plausible. Gojo worked for weeks on this costume. He learned new skills, read an entire series of manga, lost sleep as he digested a very dark series full of disgusting and horrible characters. He gained an understanding of the man behind the curtain, the mangaka Shiba Tokyo. Gojo became possessed as he too fell under Haniel's spell. Marin even helped. Between the two of them, they visited every fabric store in a 10-mile radius. Nothing fit. Nothing would make that perfect Hayori. But then he found it. A black kimono. He had finally found the Hayori for his angel. But then he saw the obi, and that is when madness took him. He stayed up late and remade the corset so that it would match the Hayori. We then had an entire chapter of Gojo talking to Marin about the costume, what expression she should have, how she should hold herself, etc. Gojo explains that he wanted to take up this costume as a personal challenge, and thanks Marin for allowing him to be selfish. Marin doesn't know what to think. After all, she's the one who asked him to make the costume. So if he's selfish, what does that make her? When they're talking about the expression that Marin should make, Gojo mentioned that Haniel has the heart of a demon. You wouldn't want to meet her twice. You should smile at everyone without emotion. People will know that they are not loved by Haniel. But most importantly, make the kind of face that makes everyone your prisoner. And that's what happens. Marin doesn't think she can pull it off, but Gojo does. He offers her encouragement, and Marin winds up enchanting everyone. The first person to get in line behind Marin is at first excited. This is his first Comic-Cat, and he gets to take a picture of a great cosplay of one of his favorite characters. This is going to be... Oh. What? What am I doing? And he's not the only one. Everyone is enchanted by Marin. They are all under her spell. She is in control, and they are nothing more than insects. She doesn't care if they live or die. You can love her with all of your heart, and she won't care. But where does that leave Gojo? He just created something epic. Where does he go from there? What could he possibly do to top what he's already done? As the arc comes to a close, we see him despondent and apparently spiraling. Is he suffering from success? Or is it something simpler than that? There's a possibility that he's just cringing at what he said to her and it's leaving him depressed. Let's review that scene again. In chapter 99, as the social media storm begins and people come rushing over to the circle, Gojo is left standing outside, fists clenched. Is he regretting what he said? Probably. The words are rewritten over and over, with Gojo finally thinking that he shouldn't have said that. There are also thoughts in the crowd that may be mirroring Gojo's sentiment. But how can he take that back? How can he apologize? After all, Marin is the first friend he's ever made, so he's still learning how to both have a friend and be a friend. Of course, there's a third option that I didn't mention earlier. Maybe it's because Gojo is in love with Marin and he's freaking out about it just like she did during the first 5 or so volumes. After all, he's remembering back to the chapter when he realized he was in love with her, and this is helping to reinforce that feeling. But how can he be worthy of a girl like Marin? Someone who can draw a crowd with her beauty. He should just content himself with helping her from the shadows. What right does he have to confess? Who knows which is true? Since Fukuda Shinichi is such a great storyteller, all could be simultaneously true. Or none of them. I may be talking out of my butt. We'll have to wait and see. But based on how things have played out, it's probably the third one. Gojo's feelings for Marin are overwhelming him. Remember, when we first met Akira, we all believed she hated Marin. Maybe she hated Gyaru's or something. But until the truth was revealed, the only concrete evidence we had was her telling Gojo that she didn't want to be around her. Of course, we all know how that turned out. And this seems par for the course throughout the manga. Tension builds over several chapters until feelings burst forth. Then we all have a laugh and the series continues, often with new characters. We'll have to wait and see, but I'm sensing a confession coming soon. After all, we just finished Winter Comiket, so Valentine's Day is only a month or so away. What do you think's gonna happen? Leave a comment below. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, a huge shout out to my editor Cute Stuff. I couldn't make these videos without her. If you'd like to hire her to edit your own videos, she can be reached at cutestuff.edits@gmail.com. Link is down below. If you're looking for ways to support the channel directly, you can head on over to patreon.com/Danon. There are several tiers to choose from. You can pick an anime or manga for me to do a video about, or you can join our monthly manga club. I also wanted to give a quick shout out to all of my patrons: Waffles, Jiraiya, Danny, Muffins, Marcus, Squishy, Brett, Roxy, Sean, Pob Zombie, Mark, Borgie, Nazwin, Pedro, Tom, Cole, Midge, Detroff, Rally, Frank, Alex, Jenny, Alex, Julio, Michael, Valeri, and Kalu. You guys are awesome. I post new anime or manga videos often, or you can click here to watch additional videos. Again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all again next time on Commander by Danon.